Hi, everybody. Welcome to In the Neighborhood. As far as we know, we're not sure if you can see us yet, but you can hear us, which means you get to hear Russ Broom and you get to imagine what Jim Button and Mandy Stobo look like. And trust me, Jim is looking hot.
I think it's Mandy that's looking.
Wait a minute. Well, we have a very special guest on our show with us today. I'll introduce him and then we'll come back to the gang. Craig Northey is joining us. People know him from The Odds and from his own incredible musical career. But Craig, a lot of people don't realize your main career is working in IT with FaceTime. That's kind of what you do most of the time. Is that accurate?
Pretty much, yeah. I get in there with my virtual wrenches and virtual chewing gum and all the problems.
Well, look at Craig. You're wearing a Stetson today. Yesterday was big news in Calgary. You're in Vancouver right now. Big news in Calgary that people are that the Stampede is shut down, that the Blues Fest has said they're done, and also the Folk Fest. So nice work on the Stetson, my friend.
Well, as an honorary Calgarian, which you get this hat when you get, well, they called it screeched in, but, I'm going to send that out to the people out east because it's tough out there too. And,
yes.
But I think I was white-hatted. So what happens if you don't live in Calgary, but you're an honorary citizen, you get to find out this news a day later. Thank you for blowing my whole day.
Yeah, we should chat, Jimmy. It's a big day. I know you've been talking to a lot of the folks involved in this, as I have, but even though everyone could see it coming, I don't think anyone was just expecting an announcement yesterday to say it's all going, but it's still a rough day.
Yeah, no, it's a rough day. All my friends at the Folk Fest, I used to be on the board of that, are having a tough time. All the guys at Village Brewery who sponsor 300 plus of these events all summer are now going, okay, so now what do we do? Mm-hmm. Blues Fest, another one that we partner in. All these people are having to just try and think, okay, what am I going to fill my time with? How are we going to keep this thing alive? Mm-hmm. And it's just another example of the list of companies and organizations and people that we have been talking about that are having to find a way to pivot. And I know, for example, that the Folk Fest is pivoting. They've got their shows on Friday where they sandwich two locals around somebody from somewhere else as I think they call them isolation room shows. Yeah. So I think these guys are all going to start pivoting as well and starting to find ways because we still need art. We still need to be taken care of spiritually, and our souls need to be filled with these types of things. So,
yeah. Man, I don't want to. It is, and I don't want to bust Mandy Stobo's bubble, but I know that this was going to be, as a guy who works at the Chuck Wagons and Grandstand Show, this was going to be a Mandy Stobo explosion this summer at the Grandstand Show, and it didn't work out, Mandy.
No, it didn't. But I'm hoping that we just take time and are conscious and add some more personal COVID stories next year, and we continue the show, and the show will go on. So So I think it just gives us some extra time to make some awesome content
Yeah.
and still find some hope and gather our city in different ways.
Also notice, because that today we're all wearing red, or those that can, or Craig in his case has the red background, which is awesome because of we're all wearing red to recognize and to remember those that the RCMP especially, but those that lost their lives in Nova Scotia. What a full day! Well, these are all light and fluffy conversations, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, maybe it's not a bad idea that we're not all just jokey, and every once in a while we get serious. It's like our emotions that we keep talking about that rise to the surface. Maybe this is the time for a little bit of this to rise to the top.
Yeah. And I've been lucky enough to get to work at the Stampede for, it's crazy, but it's decades that I've been able to get some work out of that. But I also feel like I also get to know a lot of the people who serve the drinks and who run the little food stands. All of those people, the carnies that we're looking for, this is when they make their money.
Yeah.
So it's not just the big festival is over, and that's sad and it's heartbreaking in all those worlds, but it's also all the folks that make a living doing that they're all now going, okay, what's my summer going to look like? So I hope.
And the Stampede's also the biggest music festival.
Yes,
really, with all the music that's part of the Stampede itself, the Saddle Dome concerts, and all the peripheral stuff. It's so, as well as every musician and crew guy and tech person and backline company and sound company that have just all of a sudden had all of the festivals pulled out from under them. The Stampede again is I mean, it's not officially a flagship music festival, but it is one of the biggest, if not the biggest. So yeah, everybody's just been like chopped off at the knees. So yeah, right.
Well,
Craig?
that's
Yeah, well, it's a place I've played for so many years, and it's a reason to come to Calgary, see family and all my friends there, and play music. It's gone for everyone around the country because it brings so much to Calgary.
Yeah. Well, the only thing that can make us feel better is a song by Craig Northey. Craig, what do you think you could help us out here?
Wow, no pressure. Jeez.
Stampede, you have to cover for the Stampede, the Blues, the Folk Fest, Circle. You could go on, but you've got to cover for all those guys.
Well, this is a little country blues number. Well,
sort of a folky country blues number.
It's at least a prairie number. You guys are a hybrid prairie town, so I have a long history with corner gas, and I thought since you guys had been deprived and only seen 28 seconds of this song for so many years, I would do the whole thing.
Yes!
It's
beautiful.
Stampede bonus. How's that? Does that sound all right?
Sounds
Stampede
great.
bonus. I love it.
You can tell me that your dog ran away, then tell me that it took 3 days. I've heard every joke, I've heard everyone you say. You think there's not a lot going on? Look closer, baby, you're so wrong. I roll my eyes back into my happy place. I'm always gonna need this sense of space, and in the amber wave under a rolling cloud, I can't hear what you say 'cause you're talking so loud. How many times you gonna get me wrong? Yeah, you think there's not a lot going on. Look closer, baby, you're so wrong. And that's why you can stay so long when there's not a lot going on. You could use a glass half full of something strong to help you see the emperor with nothing on. Double your dose if it's over the counter, 'cause you're sad, yeah. With the rain you could get lightning on you. Strikes twice, you never believe it. On the sky that's always wrapped around you. Think twice, you're never gonna need it. On the sky that's always wrapped around you. Good luck, you're never gonna need it. On the sky that's always wrapped around you. Good luck, you think there's not a lot going on. Look closer, baby, you're so wrong. And that's why you can stay so long when there's not a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yes. Beautiful.
So good.
Those words are so poignant right now, actually. You think there's not a lot going on, but you couldn't be more wrong. No, there is a lot going on, even though the Stampede's canceled.
I think everybody's inventing a new way to make things go on. So we will invent.
Yeah. Aww.
Now, for those of us in our lives that haven't been lucky enough to write a song that ends up on a TV show, is that like when I picture you as a 16-year-old playing guitar in your basement in high school? Is it a thrill to see that something you wrote ends up on a national television show, or what is that like?
Absolutely. It's I think, you know, Russ will tell you the same thing. If it reaches somebody, that's sort of part of the goal. Some of it is just playing the guitar in your basement. That's a lot of fun. And then somebody else feeling the same feeling you had, or it making somebody's day is pretty incredible. That's the other half of it. And TV is so pervasive, and broadcast TV is was such a big thing that you know, you can be that corner gas guy. You know,
It's amazing, Russ. It's a funny way into people's hearts, isn't it? Music.
Yeah, because, you know, I think as a kid, you get so much fuel from music. I know I did. And then all you want to do throughout your life is throw something creative back into that same pool that can hopefully inspire someone else to contribute to it. And then keep that cycle of sort of creativity, and then whatever you get from that creativity as a consumer of it. You know, it's just that cyclical thing.
I think that's what you guys were talking about what the Stampede and Blues Fest and brings to everybody, is that when you sit down and you're 16 in your basement and you're playing your guitar, it's one of your first experiences of transcendence. You pick it up and all of a sudden you go somewhere. And when you're doing that in front of people, they're doing that too with you. And if you do it right, and there's that kismet between you, then you take people somewhere else out of their regular existence.
Yeah, my favorite live music moment is you finish a song and there's about a second of silence before people clap, because you know everyone's listening and they're engaged in it as much as you are. And that's when you're like, this is the greatest day ever.
Have you ever had that one where there's like 10 minutes of silence? And
yeah, and then all you hear are doors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really loved it.
Yeah. They were overwhelmed. They just couldn't handle it anymore and had to go in the lobby and drink beer. Yeah.
That's why you guys
are
a
good
pros.
thing, though, but that's great.
Well, and you know how many accountants have the same stories?
Yeah.
0. So it's kind of great that we have artists who are willing to do that, which is a gamble, but it's so worth it. And how lucky are we that we get to have music in whatever way, again, as we all reinvent what the future is.
Well, at least we're not in oil and gas. Hey, Craig?
Careful.
Come on, everyone's going to have a
Careful, guys.
Wait, this hat just got bad mojo. I got to put on the other one.
Yeah, good.
Perfect.
Hey, I see Mandy. Mandy's got her lovely art of Craig up right now. Craig, I'm not sure Craig can see that right now, as the FaceTime manager that he is.
Yeah, he's busy rewiring the entire internet right now.
Yeah,
that's gorgeous, Mandy.
Yeah, so beautiful.
Thanks,
buy 3K.
Yeah. Why 2020 gay? Is that what's going on here?
That's right.
Now we had Craig come on and sing and hang out early so that he wouldn't be because we had a tenuous connection. So Craig, at any point going forward, if you feel that you have to go and repair the internet, please do. But if you want to hang out and just say moronic things, that's what I tend to do, and Jim and I do. So feel free to do that because that's you're more
Okay.
than welcome.
All right. Well, since I don't, I've got everybody employed working on the internet. I don't actually know how to turn my phone off, so I'll
Beautiful.
Oh, it's so good of you to be here, Mandy. So, speaking of art, a lot of the kids at home have been saying, "Hey, well, where does Mandy fall from the second floor onto her table and do a craft for us? Can you do that for us, Mandy?"
I can.
You can?
Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome
Happy
to
Friday.
Mandy Stobo's Craft Time on In Your Neighborhood. I just need some magical music so I can head on over to the studio.
Sure. Did she make it? Did she make it?
There she is.
I had to go back to the switcher, and then I tripped over my paint can, so that was fun. So today we're gonna continue. I think my cowboy hat does a little too much shadowing, so let's take that off. Today we're
I'll
going to
do the same.
continue our animals in our city, you guys, but I have a special one because this is a special show for my good friend Jim Button. So today we are going to make a unicorn. So again,
yes.
we're going to take our wonderful toilet paper rolls that we still have plenty of,
Yes.
and we're going to paint it the color that we want. At the same time, you're going to draw like kind of the head of a unicorn.
Yeah.
And then you're going to draw a tail that has a bit of a like insert there. And then you're going to cut out a bunch of shapes that kind of look like this. Okay? So then when you have your your toilet paper roll all ready to go, you want to poke 4 little holes in the bottom.
Yeah.
You want to take a pipe cleaner of any color you choose and cut it into 4. You're going to throw your little pipe cleaners in these little holes for its cute little legs, right? So I want everyone, over the next little while to make as many of these as you can and then mail them to Jim. I'll post his address later today.
Yeah.
So you want to put these little legs in there. And then on the top, you're going to cut a slit on either end. So one there and one there.
Does that hurt the unicorn?
Pardon? It does. Oh, okay. Okay, so here's your cutout head. You want to draw a little eye there and put some sparkles on the horn and glue in those hair pieces that you cut out. And then you're going to just put that in the slit like that. This one's got some attitude for sure. So does Jim. So you can see that there. And then you want to take your tail and put it in the opposite slit on the other side. And there you go. You've got a magical unicorn.
Yes. Yes, we.
All right. Back to you, Dave.
There we go.
That's so good. Wait, are we flying? Oh, there she's back.
Let's get her hat back on that.
Adjust my hat. I couldn't find my white hat, so this is my dad's hat from growing up. It's a little large on me, but so I tuck in my little hair. There we go. So here it is, Jim. Isn't it cute?
I love it. I can't wait to get hundreds and hundreds of those.
I know. And so now in your city, guys, you have the battle of the unicorns versus the dinosaurs. So I want to hear how that goes for everyone.
Oh,
the unicorns don't
deal.
fight. Unicorns. You watch. The dinosaurs won't even be fighting because the unicorns are going to keep them peaceful.
Yeah, they'll just the unicorns will cover them in glitter, and then everything will be fine.
Everybody will be calm and happy.
On our family movie last night was The Addams Family. I don't know if you've seen it. It's average at best. However, one of the things, I don't know if you remember, was when the girl comes home with a brooch with a unicorn on it, and the mom says, Oh, look, a horse with a spear through its head. I could get behind
I can say that the first episode, or maybe the second episode of Corner Gas Animated, there is a unicorn versus Sasquatch fight.
Really?
And I got to score
amazing.
that.
What?
I got to score that musically, which was quite amazing.
I might have to
Can
go
you remember it
look
now?
Can you tell us who won?
It was an orchestral piece. Unicorn won.
Yes, of
Really?
course. Yes.
Of course, yep.
The
Yeah.
union prevails.
That's
Oh,
right.
I really want to look that up, but I guess really there's no value in looking it up right now. But it's kind of fun, right? That's so good. Now, Mandy Stobo, people are saying to us, "That's great! Wow, what a craft! Is there any coloring that we can do?"
Oh, you know what? There is
What?
some coloring. So, in honor of all of our colleagues and all of the wonderful people that are involved with the Calgary Stampede, I thought coloring of a classic cowboy riding a horse would be perfect for today. So, let's see those coloring pages. Let's send some love to the Calgary Stampede and just keep the spirit alive.
Perfect.
Is it? Did you sort of base that on how I look, Mandy?
Yeah, it was a mix of you and a cowboy.
Yeah. I think
You-
as my friend Jack Schneider calls it, a cappuccino cowboy.
right.
Right, yeah.
I don't even think I make it as a cappuccino cowboy. I'm just nothing.
That's not true.
Yeah, I'm a idiot.
Oh, you're
Idiot
something,
from the
Dave.
city,
You are.
yeah.
Yeah, you are something.
You could wrestle a calf. Or...
A cat, maybe a cat.
A cat. Well, you could start with a cat and then work your way up to a calf.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think I could. Oh man! Well, look we have a very special hero helper today, and I want to make sure I get this in the right order. So, Jim, you're going to do some internet as. Do
Yep.
you want? How do you feel best? Do you want me to bring our recipient in now, or do you want to wait, or how does that work for you, Jim?
I'm going to say Mandy's shaking her head no. So I'll say no, do not bring her in yet. We'll bring her in shortly.
All right. And
Mandy,
just so we
Mandy's
know.
my guide.
Okay, very good.
You probably haven't noticed this over the last 29 shows. I don't say anything until Mandy gives me the nod.
Is that how it works?
All right. So let's go into the internet is funny, and then I'll talk about who my hero is.
Okay.
All right. So for the internet is funny today, I thought, again, back to our earlier conversation, the Stampede's gone. So the artists aren't going to be able to play. So that's one level. But the other level is all those carnies, all those people working the coffee shops, all those people working, cleaning the streets, all the unknown heroes. And that's what I've really loved about what our show has been doing so far, is that we've been recognizing those people that don't normally get the recognition. And they're the people that really make the world go round. So that's a bit of a precursor to who my hero will be. But let's start with my internet is funny.
Sure.
And here is our first one.
All right.
So this one here, obviously, I don't know if you guys saw this on the news last week, where the nurse was standing in front of traffic, in front of a protest, where everybody was yelling in their cars, and this lady, what I would call a stereotypical Southern lady, wearing her USA, USA, USA shirt, yelling, and he's basically just saying science, right? So they want to get out, they want to get their hair cut, and they're whining and complaining, and they're just not doing the right thing. So that's the first one. Next one is an image. It's a pretty scary image, but it's what these people are doing every day, that people that we are celebrating on this show as the nurses having to face, this scary prospect of a disease right at the heart of it. So I want to honor them. But the art's beautiful. Like, it's a scary piece of art. Okay, and our next one. And the next two are kind of the same. And just like that, the world realized that health workers, cleaners, truck drivers, and retail workers are far more important to society than Hollywood actors, sports star, minor celebs, and YouTubers, right? Like,
True.
how true is that, right?
Yeah.
And then the next one is pretty much the same variation of that. It just adds in a bit more. I'll just jump down to we're not desperate these days for lawyers, actors, athletes, or reality TV stars. We needed teachers, doctors, nurses, shop workers, delivery drivers, countless others that we usually take for granted. I think that essence of what's important now is changing. And that's why I really like how we keep talking about that in this show. And Mandy, if you can get ready to introduce or dial up our hero. I'd like to say this hero that I've chosen is emblematic of all those people that stay home and raise children, whether they are the mums or the dads. They are incredible people that make for a better society, and they're never really given the credit. The person that is my hero, as she has just popped up, is my lovely wife, Tracy.
Yay!
And Tracy has had big careers. She's traveled around the world doing the Olympics. She left that to raise our kids. When she went back to work, she took on jobs that were teaching science to kids, or helping kids learn art, or helping kids with literacy, working at the food bank, all the while taking care of our family. And then when I got sick, she stopped working again and came back to take care of our family. And people like that are all over the world. These are the people we've been celebrating on the show, the unknown heroes. And so I want Tracy to be, not only to thank her personally, but I want to thank her on behalf of all the people that don't normally get the credit, but are the ones that really count, because the world has changed and we're starting to realize how that matters. So I love you, Tracy. You're my hero. Oh, look at Mandy.
Thank you, Jimmy.
There's your art.
Look at that.
Thank you.
That's so great. And Mandy, that's a beautiful painting. And I don't know, is now the time that we tell Tracy that Jim's been faking this disease the whole time just so he can stay home from work?
I wanted to stay home from work and somebody take care of me. Like, you remember last week when I was holed up in my room and I was totally isolated? Tracy would come every day, 3 times a day, and drop my food off on the floor, and she'd yell, "Order up!"
I told him I felt like I was running a hotel, because I'd bring his food, deliver it to him, and an hour later there would be dirty dishes in my hallway. My only complaint was he's a terrible tipper.
I think he's hoping that today makes up for it. That's this is his tip.
Thanks for the save, Dave. Appreciate that.
I do what I can, Jim. Tracy, what have you learned in this crazy ride you've been on with your husband, Jim, and then translating that into COVID? This is, you've been on the front lines of a lot of stuff recently. How has it been for you?
Honestly, it's been fine. You just take each day as it comes. But for me, I think I learned this lesson a while ago with Jim. Really, at the end of the day, all that matters are the people in your lives and the people around you. And if we really make a concerted effort to care for one another, we'll get through this unscathed.
So good. Yeah.
So Tracy's been buying flowers from the flower shops and sending them to people. She's been making sure that we're out buying food from different restaurants. She's been making, Dave, you're the recipient of one, art packages for people so that they can entertain their kids. She's been just making sure that everybody around her is taken care of and healthy. And if she sees somebody that's struggling, she reaches out. And that's what's so beautiful about what's going on right now, is that we're starting to realize how important and how valuable that is. And Tracy teaches me that every day.
So yay, Tracy.
Sometimes with a soft, kind word, and other times with a backhand.
No, that was only when we were doing taxes.
Yes. That was fun.
Jim's a big picture person, and he's not good with the detail.
Here we go.
Is this a question you'd ask Jim? Because I get this from Blythe now and then. It'll be like, where are those receipts? And I'm like, whoa, I think they're in my pants, but I don't know for sure.
Like, stop attacking me. Find them one day.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks. This is going to work out really well.
I know. Blythe and Tracy and Phil needed their own support group. They should have their own morning show.
Well, see, this is why we brought Craig on the show, because first of all, he's an IT tech, but he's also a marriage counselor. So, Craig, we really appreciate you being here for the show today.
Keep it light. Keep it light. Don't bother with taxes. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, we don't have to do them till June, right? Like, what are we doing?
Non-essential.
Well, I know, Tracy, that a lot of your dreams have come true, but I know you never had a dance specifically for you, or have you had us dance to Rust music with Craig Northey on the same screen? So today is your lucky day. As we leave the show, we're all going to dance around to some Rust music for 20 seconds. Home to Tracy and those who do so much. Take it.
Thanks, guys.